Hello, everyone. My name is Ohayon. I'm head of corporate development at GDA Capital. I'm joined today with Kamil from NIFTEX and Bart from Zignaly, and also Raoul Milhado, who's the CEO of Elitium. I was wondering if we could have a quick intro from everyone on the panel just to begin. Can we begin with Kamil?
Yeah, of course. So first of all, thank you for having me. My name is Kamil. I'm business and marketing manager at NIFTEX, the fractionalization protocol. So my background is I joined crypto market in 2012. Back then, there were only crypto space were only about Bitcoin, so it was pretty boring. I started working with in NFT space because of its dynamics and this constant development that because of this market is never sleeping, continuously evolving. So yeah, that's from my side.
Thank you. And Bart?
I'm Bart. I'm the CEO at Zignaly, in social investment platform. And I got involved in cryptocurrency when I was developing a bot for trading. I have no idea about trading, and I thought that I should do something different. So I created Zignaly to avoid to have to trade by myself.
Very cool. And Raoul?
Well, I'm Raoul Milhado. I'm the CEO of Elitium. In the past few years, we've been building a wealth management platform for cryptocurrency and DeFi investing. And basically, we already built the component of tokenization. First, our focus was on real estate and hotel projects. But basically, because of the NFT market, that exploded in the past 6 months, we shift our focus to art. We partnered up with GDA Capital, and that's how we basically hosted NFT Basel. We're in the venue right now. We're in the Temple House, and tomorrow we're doing NFT Basel together with GDA. And basically, our goal is to showcase the world that you can combine physical art with the NFT technology. And tomorrow we're demonstrating that with an event with more than 300 people. So it's going to be pretty cool. So basically, that's kind of my background with NFTs and crypto. And
Cool. And Bart, for the first question, could you give us a bit of an intro into what you were doing in the NFT space and what led you into it? And where you see NFTs going with your tech?
Sure. I'm gonna give a little background why I'm getting into the NFT, because we are an investment platform. We started with accepting signals from traders, and these signals were shared between the followers of these services. And we realized that it was too complex for the target that we were trying to attract to Zignaly. So we give another step, and we launched a copy trading service. It was a huge improvement, but still we have some issues. For example, when you are doing copy trading, you are always one step behind the trader. So it's not the best scenario. So in November of last year, we launched profit sharing, or what we call profit sharing. And this is a solution where everybody put the money in one single account, and the trader manage this account in behalf of everybody. So this is great. The results are amazing. And the results were the same for everybody, and everything was amazing until the last 19th of May, when the Bitcoin crashed, and we lost all the service, almost all the service that we have in the marketplace. They lose money. So we knew that this could happen, and because of this, we were thinking in insurance for our investor. Because one of the things that you heard when you are trying to attract people from outside of the crypto space is that Bitcoin today is here, but tomorrow is here or is in the floor. And there is a lot of concern about the volatility and all these things. So in November, December of last year, we started to work in an insurance protocol, and we thought that the best representation of this insurance could be an NFT. We are trying to give a use case that is not usual, because sometimes, most of the time, you are attaching this to art, you are attaching this to video games, and the use case is excellent. but we are giving a new use case attaching this to the insurance service. So your coverage is going to be represented by this NFT. So once the trigger happens, is automatically going to work. So you don't need to fight against your insurance company to claim your coverage or anything like that. So this is our introduction in the NFT world. It's a complement for the platform.
Very cool. Okay, so how do you teach someone who's traditionally like a capital markets investor to use an NFT as a form of insurance or as a form of an asset, like an investment in any asset, right? Like how do you educate them?
So I think this question is easy because you don't have to mention NFT, and they don't care, right? They don't care if it's NFT, if it's blockchain, if it's a node in your database. And it's important that what the NFT give us is something that at the end is going to be there. It's going to be easy to track if you need to, but the user, they don't need to know what is behind. It has to be super, super easy. You have to present a service and you want to say, hey, it's the same when you go to Amazon and you buy one computer and they say, hey, do you want an insurance, extend your guarantee for 2 years? Yes, no. You do that and you don't care if the technology is NFT or is whatever. So I think that for this mass adoption, we need to do this as easy and painless as possible. So don't mention NFT, don't mention blockchain or anything like that.
Very cool. So this is a question for Raoul. Where do you see NFTs falling in the current like crypto marketplace, and how do you see people from the traditional asset classes coming into the crypto space leveraging NFTs?
Well, I think what also Bart said, that there's so many possibilities, right? He's working on an insurance protocol. We're doing it with art. We're showcasing it with physical art. Just as an example, and going back to what Bart was saying as well, I think it's all about education, but you should not make it overcomplicated with using fancy words as NFT or blockchain whatsoever. You should just simplify the process and explain what it's actually about and what the potential value is for, well, them or for the user or for the company. So what we see, for example, now with art is that in the future, what I see, especially now talking with the artists and the dealers and the people that are involved in the organization of all this, is that at one point that you not just own the physical art, but that you need to have the NFT in order to show and prove that you're also the owner of that physical art. So it becomes like an official registration on the blockchain that you can prove that you're not just owning like the physical asset, but you actually also have it registered in your wallet, in your app, whatsoever. So I think that's going to be a standard thing. And I'm not talking about marketplaces just alone or auctions, whatever what we're doing now. I'm talking about a general setup of registration of ownership. Mm-hmm. And I think that's kind of a big thing. And that's just on the art side, right? And basically, like how I see tokenization, and I said this like years ago already, everything with value can be tokenized. And the NFT, the non-fungible token, is just simplifying that process without making it a security token, right? So there's so many opportunities on the security token side, but now with NFT becoming more and more popular, there's so much more possible, and it makes it also more simple from a regulatory perspective because you don't get into the whole security space and everything. So I think it's just incredible how many opportunities there are, yeah. And for every different segment, there are different possibilities that can be applied.
Exactly, and just to add to that, like with NFT Basel, that's essentially the technology we created. We found a way to digitize deed of ownership and show traditional users, whether it be in art and cars and in watches, whatever the tangible asset may be, that you can essentially transfer the ownership of that using the technology in an NFT. I think we have a question from the audience. Why does it have to be an NFT? Why not regular smart contracts for the insurance? This is for Bart.
This is an interesting question. This goes a little bit ahead in our roadmap. We are trying to gamify the experience a little bit. Each NFT is going to be, each coverage, it has to be some characteristics and they are going to be unique. no NFT is going to be, or almost no NFT is going to be the same than others. So this is why we are using the NFT technology and not just a regular smart contract.
Got it. So Kamil, we didn't get a chance to ask you this, but where do you see NFTs being used in the next 2 to 5 years? Like what is going to be NFT 2.0?
So in my opinion, the biggest and still pretty much unexplored, I mean, it's explored, but not enough, I guess, part of NFT market is in-game assets and in NFT kind of games. I really feel that gamers and players are just natural fit, because they naturally understand the idea about digital assets, the scarcity of it, and they just naturally fit into NFT space. And those new generation that currently buy a lot of skins in Fortnite will one day think that it's pointless to obtain things that we really don't have, and we really couldn't sell further. From that point of view, it's pointless to buy them in the first place. So yeah, all those people that understand that digital things can be owned, that can be value, will join NFT, and by that, in-game assets in NFT games in 5 years, in my opinion, will play significant role in NFT market.
Very cool. And do you think that the gaming industry will be kind of a gateway into mass adoption for NFTs? Do you think that's enough of a method of like education to get people to adopt it?
Yeah, that's for sure. I mean, you can read in various research that more than 3 billion people already play video games. For example, one of the latest announcement from Axie Infinity, the biggest player in NFT gaming, was that only 15% of players play the games on PC. So we are going for sure mobile, and we are going to introduce crypto by games, basically by concept like play to earn, for example.
Very cool. And so for Raoul, with you guys started off building out a wealth management platform and essentially a DeFi app. What made you think to use NFTs, and what was the big value offering you were bringing to your users with it?
Well, there's two answers here, right? One of them is basically, if we look at our audience, which is basically we're targeting the professional investor or the high net worth individual. For this audience, they want to diversify in the crypto space. So basically, when investing in crypto, you can start staking, you can enter DeFi and invest and create yields, or generate yields. And then on top of that, now you have a whole new space where you can start bidding and purchasing NFTs, right? And in our case, we started with art because it's completely in line with the audience. It's luxury. That's what Elitium stands for as well. So at one point, as an investor, you can not just own digital assets, but you can also own NFTs that are connected to an actual physical asset, and they're tradable, right? They're valuable assets. But what we're trying to do as well for this type of audience, and this is where we are in right now, and I think Bart made this point earlier, like Bitcoin can be 60K today and 50K or 40K tomorrow. So there's a lot of doubts. There's a lot of people that see it still as a big risk. So it's all about mass adoption. It's all about education, but it's also about like tackling the problems in the industry. So a few things that we do is for example, we accept credit cards, even bank transfer. We accept all different type of cryptos. There's let's say something goes wrong with your account and you cannot access your NFT, your wallet anymore for whatever reason. Well, you call someone and there should be someone responsive to help you with your problem, especially if you own a piece of art from a couple of $1 million, right? So What we believe in is that CeFi and DeFi kind of platform is what is needed in this market. So you do use the tools, and you do have the technology in different like NFT, DeFi, staking, you name it. But if there is an issue with your account where you have so much value online and there's nobody on the other side of the phone, then you have a problem. And we try to tackle that by having support, by having phone number and everything. And I think that's kind of what is needed in this industry, that we focus more on how can we solve the problems from the investors, and instead of just keep creating new ideas and products, it's also about like how can we make it more mature.
Yeah. Exactly. So Bart, more from the trading side, how do you think you're going to be able to leverage NFTs, similar to the way Raoul kind of transitioned from a wealth management platform to creating an NFT marketplace? How do you think that trading is going to be impacted, and like asset management will be impacted as well, beyond the insurance?
So I think there is another interesting use case for the NFT, which is kind of crowdfunding platform where you can buy a real estate with, for example, with a lot of people, and your share of this asset is going to be represented by an NFT. So you can do this with any non-liquid asset, real estate, the insurance, or any other product that you have out there. You can create an additional marketplace for this, because it's true that it's not. It could be it's not going to be unique, because at the end, your equity for one house can be the same than the other guy, but you always can exchange this equity for money or for any other currency. So I think that this is another interesting use case where you can do crowdfunding because you cannot afford to buy one house by yourself. So you join force with other guys, and your equity is going to be represented by one of these NFT. I think this is another interesting use case that we can have, and it could bring more use case to the trading space.
Yeah, but I think if you go down that path, there's a risk of the NFT essentially becoming a security token.
Yeah.
And then you blur out that line, which is go ahead.
No, but it depends. If you connect it to actual paying out dividends or sharing profits, it becomes your security. But I think what Bart is saying is that you say if you have, like, let's say one asset and you create X NFTs for X assets, so you like fractional the whole space, and then you basically start to create NFTs. But it's true that if you connect that then to a business model where you say, okay, when this building or this hotel or whatever real estate project starts to generate revenue and you start to pay out the token holders, it becomes a security, right? So these are two different things.
Sure. First of all, it's not something that we are doing. Our path is totally different. But I believe that at some point we will have to suffer a regulation. Yeah. It hasn't to be bad. And probably it's going to be the thing that is going to bring the mass adoption from the users. But at some point, we will have to do it. And it's not so bad that it's a security. It's a security. It's legal, it's regulated, and we have a representation of the ownership in one NFT. So it's true that now a security is super dangerous because there is no regulation and there is a lot of danger around that. But once the regulation starts to come, I don't see the problem with that.
Yeah, very cool. So we have a question from the audience.
You can answer it.
So if you sell an NFT for a physical painting, how do you guarantee the authenticity of the painting? So I can take this one. So essentially what we've created with NFT Basel is we found a way to essentially permanently place a QR code onto every painting with obviously the artist's approval. And essentially what you'll be able to do at the event is you scan the QR code that's on display. That will bring you to the Elitium platform where you can essentially bid for the piece of art. And once you take ownership of that NFT, that QR code will basically lead you to the Elitium platform, and then you'll see that it's being held in someone's wallet. So down the road, if you're trying to sell that piece of art and you have, let's say, someone who comes in with a fake or a replica, they can scan the QR code on the back of the piece of art and see that if your name's not Ohayon, you're not the true holder of that NFT. So what we've created is a tracking history for pieces for art's intangible assets. And in the secondary art market, this has become extremely important over the years as artists become more and more collectible and the ownership history becomes more important. So as you authenticate pieces down the road, that becomes an incredibly valuable asset, and we're creating the blockchain from step one with NFT Basel.
And in our case, with NFT Basel, we only work directly with the artists. We're not taking any external art at the moment. If we would do so, we obviously work with the partners to check if the art piece is real or not. But yeah, I think you explained it pretty well how we actually utilizing the blockchain to create like a history book and the transactional history of the actual token, so that you can always connect that to the actual painting. And what we're introducing as well to protect the artist is connecting that to royalties. So every time that someone buys or resells and someone else buys it, there's a small percentage going back to the actual artist. This is a standard thing in the world of art, but it's not a standard thing in the world of NFTs. And we're applying that because we think this has value long term. So we want to make sure that artists are happy and also that people who use our platform are happy, basically.
Yeah. So I'd like to tie this to Kamil. If we're trying to track ownership over time of an NFT and you're going to be using that in the gaming space, do you think that would create more value for gamers if they can also track where their NFTs came from, who like what they were worth X years ago? And do you think that would create more value in the gaming space?
Yeah, so for sure, like trading history or ownership history, adding value to any assets, mainly because of you are, preventing yourself from being scammed, for example. So buying more than the asset is truly worth. So yeah, for sure, it adding some additional value.
Awesome. We actually have a question from the audience for you. So if you fractionalize an NFT like virtual real estate, do you lose the ability to control it in the game?
No. No. If you do it with NIFTEX, so with company that I represent. So NIFTEX is the only known to me a platform that can preserve on-chain rights associated with NFTs. So for example, if you have DCL parcel with right to build on it, if you fractionalize it, the only way to preserve this ability to set a person, a wallet who can then build on this parcel is to fractionalize it with NIFTEX, because every fractionalization on the NIFTEX are, we can call them a mini DAO structure. So every holder of shard token can, for example, decide on who can build on the DCL parcel if the DCL parcel is fractionalized. So there is this democratization and in co-owning the virtual lands, but also democratization in shaping the future of NFT assets, because like governance over the NFT asset, I feel that it's not a very good explored topic for now. But yeah, it should be in the future, and for sure it will be in the future. For example, if people really gonna fractionalize their houses, there should be some DAO structures or managers that will manage the NFT in the real world and stuff like that. So yeah.
So how do you see like voting rights counting in an NFT marketplace, right? So if someone owns 51%, they technically own the voting right to that piece, right? So how do you control that?
Yeah, so you can design the voting power as you wish. So for example, of course, you can use pretty straightforward kind of democratic system where if you obtain 51%, you have always right and can force every decision. But you can also create something more sophisticated, like if you own at least 5% of the supply, you can propose something, and then people can just use their voting power to vote on the proposals. So there is no power in the hands of one person who get the majority. You can just change the design in the governance structure, and because of that change the voting power from whales to people, for example.
Got it. So it kind of works like a co-op building.
Yeah, exactly.
Very cool. Okay, this one's for Bart. So, sorry. So what are the barriers of entry to the DeFi and the NFT market that you're experiencing, and how do you think we're going to be overcoming those over the coming years?
So I think it's come again back to what I mentioned at the beginning. Is the difficulty in both, right? Because for DeFi now you have a lot of different things that you can do, but most of the people, they don't know how to do it. So we need something easier to use. So, and the same with the NFT. We need to forget about NFT. NFT is the technology. When you are using an email, you are sending an email, you are not telling to the people that they are using the SMTP protocol or anything like that. They don't care. So we need to simplify everything, and we need to do as easy as possible to use. That's my opinion.
Yeah, absolutely agree. I think that is the main hurdle for traditional investors to getting into the crypto space. And I think NFTs are a phenomenal tool at showing people how to get into the crypto space, because they can be tied to something unique and tangible. I think typically, for example, in Kamil's world, he's directly attracting a very young audience. And I think with more like leverage in the DeFi space and more capital markets focused products, we actually bring the older generations into the newer world of fintech and crypto. And that's where I think the true value is in the NFT. And again, I think that's the value add we've created with NFT Basel, is really tying tangible assets to crypto and showing that you can pay using a credit card. It's essentially the same process, but you're securing your assets in a wallet. Exactly. I think, going over for the next few years, I think the main focus for the crypto world should be to simplify how crypto assets work, whether they be securities tokens, utility tokens, or even NFTs, and really educating the client base on how they function. I agree with you. I think we're all on the same page on that, which is really cool. So I guess for the whole team, we can go one at a time. What are you guys most excited for in the NFT space? What is like the one thing you're most focused on? And I guess let's start with Raoul.
Well, the NFT Basel is obviously a very simple answer here, but it's just a start, right? We created the event in just a couple of months, and we're sold out. 300 people, 50 people on the waiting list already. It's just like everybody's just reading about it. Everybody's talking about it. It's just like a kind of proof of concept already that this is not just like a hype, but it's also like there's so many different kind of people that are interested in this space. So it's all coming together. And what I was really what made me very exciting, for example, we have a designer in the team, Maxime, and he's been working closely with all the artists. And most of these artists, they know how to paint, right? They know how to make beautiful stuff, but they're not so good in computers, right? They're not good in Photoshop and all of these softwares, right? So what we have created, Maxime started to work very extensively with these artists. So what excites me is that, you see literally a bridge, like a merge between the old traditional art world with the world of NFTs. And we literally created that, which is now live on the platform, right? It's like we created that just in such a short time span. This is our first event and many to follow. So I'm just excited about the process, right? And what's going to come next, and what's going to come more out of that.
Yeah. Just to add to that, just one more point. We like even like at the event, we are digitizing deed of ownership to a physical watch that with a company that we've partnered with, and they've stuck a QR code into the watch, so you can always authenticate that watch by checking the laser tag on it, and it will tie you back to the wallet. Yeah. So yeah, thank you to like Ernest Benz, who's decided to do this in partnership with us, and I think that's a really cool opportunity. And yeah, Kamil, what's your thought on this?
So, I mean, potentially the most crucial benefit of fractionalization, and in the same time, the thing that excites me the most is the democratization over the NFT. So democratization in co-owning. Now I see that most valuable NFTs are basically owned by biggest whale in the space, and maybe this is just not fair, because blockchain technology let us to co-own things in decentralized manner. So we should maybe back to those roots, and with fractionalization, let people even with like $10 or $100 in their pocket still invest in high value items. Very good example of this was the latest fractionalization on NIFTEX that was bundle of 24 very rare Genesis mooncats from the Mooncats Rescue Project, and those cats would be owned by 24 people. And now they are owned by more than 250, which for me is pretty much amazing, because the pre-sale was sold in few hours, and by that we managed what we wanted to do. So we just spread and make the co-owning asset just easier for everyone.
Yeah, and Bart.
For me, the more exciting thing, I think, is very aligned with what you guys have said, and I think in summary is democratizing the ownership of the things, right? You are doing in art, Kamil is doing in video games, I'm doing in insurance. So I'm excited to see what is coming, what people are the use case that they are going to apply to the NFT, because right now we have a lot of figures that they are only there to certify that you are the owner of this, and we don't need this anymore, right? We have now this technology that can supply this middleman that until now was imposed to us. So I'm very excited to see what is coming and which other use case we will have regarding this ownership.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, guys.
We quickly want to show you the Temple House venue where the NFT Basel is being hosted tomorrow. Sure. We only have a few minutes left, but we just quickly, it's not yet finished at all. I think they're testing the lights, but it's going to quickly give you a sneak preview. They're taking off the digital art now because they're testing it. No, it's fine. She's busy. But we just want to quickly to show you, and tomorrow there will be here like more than 350 guests or something, so it's going to be fun.
Good luck tomorrow, guys.
Yeah, we're doing like there's a live auction as well. So it's not just if you cannot make it to Miami, you can also just obviously go to the Elitium marketplace and do the live auction there. But we're doing a live stream in Decentraland. So everybody can follow. We have like a camera guy walking around with the live stream, so you can literally follow every. It's going to be a show. It's not just going to be an exhibition. So it will be fun to watch.
Okay, and thank you again, guys.